Well, greetings, BUS22 students. This is Mr. Doucette, and this is week number 9 in our 16-week course in Managerial Business Communications here at Norco College. And this week we're going to be looking at two chapters, chapters 8 and chapter 9, which deal with positive routine business messages as well as negative messages. So you're going to be looking at, I believe, emails and kind of the general everyday type of communication that happens within a company that have to do with business writing. And then, of course, we also will be looking at negative messages, and there's a certain way to format your negative message, most notably to use the indirect strategy, and in particular using what's called a buffer when you do a negative message. And the buffer is really just kind of a neutral statement of some type of agreement that you might have with your audience or with your reader, and it just kind of helps break the ice, or it allows you to not have to get right into the negative news. And so there's a certain format you should follow with the indirect strategy, meaning that you should never reveal the main idea of your message until after you've given all the reasons. So in this case, you don't want to reveal the negative news at all until you've given all the reasons for the negative news that you're about ready to deliver. So it's kind of a little bit of beating around the bush, if you will. You're not coming right out and saying the negative news. So that's what you want to focus on this week in your writing assignment as well as in your other assignments. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen here, and I'll explain all that. So here we're in module number 2. I think we have 1 more or 2 more weeks, and we'll be finishing up module 2, and then we'll be heading into our third and final module. So if we come down here, week number 9, you have a check-in assignment with 2 questions from each of those 2 chapters. I also provided the 2 PowerPoints for both of those chapters. You have a quiz, and then of course you have your writing assignment, which is going to be a positive or a negative message. So I'll go over that in just a minute. And then you also have, you're going to be continuing to complete your discussion post number 2, or continue to do your discussion post number 2. Now, this was the do's and don'ts of business writing. And just to give you a little preview, if you've watched my video on business writing, I basically do this assignment for you. And so it really helps expedite what I'll be looking for in the list. But I'm going to go ahead and change the date on that. It's not going to be due now until you have 1 more week after this to finish your list. So I put down this next week. So you'll have 1 more week after this, and I will change that from continuing discussion post number 2 to completing discussion post number 2. So that is now a part of this week's module, which is week number 9. And so here we are once again. So that's now here, continuing discussion post number 2. And then your writing assignment. So the way that I set up this writing assignment is you have a choice. You can either do a positive routine email, or you can do a negative email. I highly recommend doing the negative email. It should be actually a little simpler. Plus, it gives you the opportunity to learn how to do a negative message and utilize what I had just been talking about, the indirect strategy. So I highly recommend that you select that one, but you could do the other if you want. And remember, when you're doing this, you want to format it like an email. So if you go into the assignment instructions, I give you a sample of a good email that you can follow. Make sure it looks kind of like that, but also add even more design elements to improve readability. What do I mean by that? You should use headings, bullet lists, bold text throughout your document to make important things stand out. It shouldn't just be plain text on a page. Even short single-spaced paragraphs, that alone is not enough. You need to do more in order to get the reader to be able to scan the document quickly. And to do that, you need to use bullet lists and headings and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm looking for in all of your writing assignments. So that's going to be what you'll be working on. I'll be grading last week's writing assignment number 1 on the parking memo over the first few days of this week. So be watching for my feedback on that. Make sure you read my feedback, and then you apply what I share with you in your next writing assignment, which would be the email that you're going to be doing this week. So that's it for week number 9. If you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can also meet me during my office hours, which they've changed a little bit from the first part of the session. So make sure you go to the office hours page from the homepage, and that you see when my office hours are, and I'm happy to meet with you anytime during those hours. Or if you can't meet me during those hours, let me know when you can meet me. So